Good evening, everyone. My name is Sillon. I'm originally from Haiti. I'm a contract specialist for the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services. I'm also a Navy vet with a background in human resources. I've been with CMS for 3 years. I decided to attend Savvy Coders to further my professional and personal growth. As a contract specialist, I rely on data to make price and cost analysis on a daily basis. Additionally, our agency is very involved with many surveys and data. For example, we own the chronic conditions data warehouse, which is a very well-known database used for Medicare and Medicaid researches and Medicaid research and assessment. Um, for this capstone analysis, so I'm gonna answer 3 questions. What's the impact of legal immigration or immigration in general on the state population? What is the cultural impact? And then after that, I'm gonna answer the question regarding immigrant, like profile. Which countries for 2021 who have immigrant with the highest level of education. To start, I used data from 3 main sources. I used data from the Department of Homeland Security, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, and the Census Bureau. Those are the 3 sources I used. I had a couple blockers, especially moving data from one platform to another one. So most of the data I got, they were in PDF, and I was able to rely on the TAs, and they helped me out a lot and helped me figure out everything regarding HR. So it was a good experience. I was the product owner for Team One for the second half of the cohort, and it was a good experience, especially in the planning phases and all that. So I'm gonna share my screen just to start my presentation. Share my screen. Okay, like I said earlier, all the data I got them from, they were in Excel. So I did all my cleaning. All my cleaning were, I would say 90% of my cleaning, they were done in Excel. So I review all the files and I keep what I think was relevant. If they, I think some of those things that they may not, I didn't need them regarding, for my data analysis, I remove them. And then after I did most of my cleaning in Excel, I went in Python just to make sure, I combine all my CVS files, and I had a couple of CVS files. And after that, make sure I didn't have any nulls. And you can see something like that chart I added in Python. Just want to make sure, because I know from 2012 to 2021, the US population increased by 18 million people. So that's the things I try to present on Python, especially using Matplotlib to show the progression of the US population. For my data analysis, the first aspect of my data analysis, it was about the state population. What I did, based on the data I got from the Census Bureau, I created a chart in Tableau. For each state, I had to break it down by states. For example, you're gonna see places like Arizona. So 44 million, that's the basis, that's the total of immigrant we had for that year, places like Arizona. And out of the 44 million, more than 44 million, 922,000, they were located in Arizona, California. About more than 23% of that 44 million, they were located in California. You're gonna see places like New York, Texas, and Florida. Those are well-known places where we know they got a large immigrant population in those states. The second aspect of my data analysis, what I used, it was regarding the cultural aspect. For the cultural aspect, so I used the languages. But first of all, I created a map, and you can see the map, this map right here. I created a map showing after English and Spanish for each state, which language, after English and Spanish, which language was the most spoken. And that's how you can see places like, for example, if you're in Nebraska, among immigrant, if no English, no Spanish, it's gonna be Vietnamese. Places like Denver, Colorado, for example, it's gonna be Chinese. You can see this is the pattern right here. All the west coast of the United States, it's Chinese. You went from Washington State all the way to California, it's all Chinese. And that was a surprise to me, especially for it's been a while since I've been to Texas. It was about Vietnamese. was the most spoken language after English and Spanish. Where I'm at in Florida, Haitian Creole. So this is the number one. And to make it easier and for the reader, so what I did, I broke it down. I broke down the language by state. So for example, instead of going all over the map, so you're gonna see Arabic, for example, people in Michigan, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. Same Chinese, like I was saying, you got the West Coast states and a couple states from the East Coast, even North Carolina. You got it Chinese. So that's the reason why I broke it down by state. And for the last part of my study, before I used Tableau, so I went in regarding the education level. So we got people with less than 9th grade, people with between 9 and 12th grade, people with high school diploma, people with some colleges, I would say immigrant with bachelor degrees. So I use a pivot table. I filter it like for high school diploma and bachelor degree. I filter it for 30%. The 30% mark, so that's I filter it. Like if you got less than 30%, you're not gonna show in that map right here in that graph, and it's not gonna be you're not gonna be showing in that because if it's less than 30%. So as you can see, Marshall Island, they were like at 42.5% for high school diploma. So like I said, oh, let me double check and make sure I got the right data right here. So this is where like when I come here, so I use the data for high school diploma, and you're gonna see it, high school diploma, and you're gonna see Marshall Island. If I sort it, if I sort it right here, and you're gonna see Marshall Island. Marshall Island was the number one with 42.5%. It's the same thing if I want to use the data. So I wanted the other question I answered. I said, okay, this is for high school diploma. But if I want to know which one got the highest, got which country present like, the highest level for bachelor degree. So this is what like I use. I'm going to change, I change this to label. I change this to label, and you're going to see if I sort it, and you're gonna see India gonna be the number one. 80% of immigrants from India in that year, fiscal year 2021, 80% of them they had their bachelor degree, and then after that you got places like Saudi Arabia and UAE. They had people with, like they were closed with 77%. So to answer my question, yes, the legal immigration had a big impact on the U.S. State population, and they had a big cultural impact, especially regarding for the aspect we use, for the category we use, which is the language. And the third one, the level of education. Yes, like I know, like this data, for example, for the level of education, it could create kind of like a stereotype. But the thing is, it's like if you're an employer, you know, like if you got someone from India, and like you expect, like most of them, you expect like you got a better chance of having like an immigrant with a bachelor degree for that year if they were from India, instead of like comparing to people from the Bahamas or Chile, for example. It's just the data. It was a good experience with Savvy Coders, and thanks everyone for watching my presentation. And I wish good luck to everyone, my teammate, my classmate. And thank you so much. Thanks, Savvy Coders, and have a good one.